Good morning, Monday morning. Another beautiful day. Weather's absolutely gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. Lights coming up round the corner there. Look at that, beautiful. And my big tree. It's in over there as well. Morning, Mr. Divine. I hope you've had a great weekend. And put it back in the waterfall for a wee minute. Monday. Oh, getting ready on a Monday. Here we are. I have still... Morning, Mr. Grant. I hope you are well. I have no real idea what date it is at all. I'm now counting time as how long it is before I can now shave my beard off. So that's like my date abacus. Right, here we go. Monday morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Victoria. Good morning, everyone. Monday. We've made it to Monday again. And took a few moments there at the waterfall to remember young Liam Scott. God bless him. And actually, his mum and dad were in my mind this morning. So I'll start with, there has been absolutely no preparation in this morning. Good morning, Narelle. Narelle, I was speaking about you this morning. Narelle, I need to give you a message. I need to give you a message later on today. I think, are we on for next Saturday? That's what I was wondering. Right, so just going to share some insights from Saturday's hike. And Saturday's hike, and I did very little yesterday. The only footwear that I could get on was, good morning Bob Mitchell, happy birthday buddy. And the only footwear I could get on yesterday was Crocs, because my feet were like the Elephant Man, and I couldn't get my feet on, couldn't get my shoes on my feet yesterday. But I'm going to share some insights from the hike. That's kind of been out the house for 11 hours hiking with my everything that I needed to survive. I was like Bear Grylls on Saturday, you know. I was only ever at most half an hour for a convenience store, do you know what I mean? But I had dried food and flasks and a stove and my sleeping bag and a blow up mattress and a tent. I was probably more equipped than most, but right. My reflections and insights from the weekend, and one would hope that they are helpful for other people to listen to in my rambles. So this morning, as I said yesterday, the only footwear I could put on was my Crocs. My legs were really tight, and although the mind was strong and raring to go on my hike this morning, the old legs, I don't know what you call those things, just up for your Achilles heel, man. I've developed this new muscle, you know. I've never been into weight training, but my ankles now look like a bodybuilder, and I kind of get some kind of dopamigenic pleasure from that. But nonetheless, put my hiking boots on and couldn't walk. I could not walk, right? And I was hobbling, and I hobbled out the house, and I hobbled along where I live, hobbled across the street, and I'm hobbling down the beaches, and I meet this girl, Michelle, that I meet in the morning. She's walking up the way, and she's like, "You alright?" I went, "No, I did a hike into Glasgow, pity pot, right?" I says, "My legs are really sore," right? And then when she left, I kind of manned up a wee bit, and I started walking through the pain, and it was sore. And I was actually making a noise with each time that I had to stretch my legs. I was making a noise, right? And what I can tell you is that pain is nowhere near, and this is what I was thinking about the young boy Liam that lost his life there at the weekend. No matter how sore my ankles were, they are nowhere near as sore as the pain that family's going through right now, right? That pain and suffering is nowhere near what I've endured with a 33-mile walk. So man up, find your mission, get up and get on with it, right? Also, that pain that was in my ankles, It's momentary. It's momentary. It's going to change. It's no 5 years of depression. It's no depression. It's not. And no matter how painful that could be, the choices that we make to have a more successful, more fulfilled life, rather than being depressed or feeling suicidal, or indeed the grief of losing somebody that you love, right? The pain in my ankles is minuscule in comparison to that. So, my thoughts from the weekend, my hike for the weekend, right? Now, there were 6 of us ended up hiking on Saturday, and I'm going to bounce about a wee bit here, but it was 5:30 this morning when this came into my head, and it was far too early to text my sister. I should have probably responded with quite an aggressive emoji, so I didn't know when to ask her. But my sister was involved with a company that was bringing microbial technology to the United Kingdom for the purpose of increasing the nutritional value of soil, right? And whilst she was working on this project with microbes, so microbes are, do your own research, they're things that go in the soil and they make the soil work better and more effectively. But through our ingenious ways of spraying the soil with glyphosate and pesticides, they don't really like that. So we've kind of killed them all, because in our genius, that's the kind of stuff that man does. But anyway, we have got microbes like that which is in the soil. We've got about 1 kilo of them in our gut. Now, it's quite trendy. Most people have heard of that now today, but I'm going back nearly 15 probably. I don't know, it was at least 15 years ago. My sister was involved with this company, and it was about 15 years ago I got, as I do with everything, because I'm an addict, I just got right down the rabbit hole with stuff, right? Lose myself and stuff. And the thing that I'm going to share with you about microbes that I thought was pretty ingenious is that there is no hierarchy. Sort of similar to that within the bee community, but microbes, when faced with a task, whatever that task might be, so let's just imagine that a force is coming towards the microbes, and you've got microbe A, B and C, right? So depending on what that task is that's coming towards the microbe A may assume the position of sergeant, microbe B may assume the position of general, microbe C might just be foot soldier, right? So then, half an hour later, another task comes towards the microbes, and microbe A, B and C, the one which was the general may become the sergeant, the one that became the sergeant may become the foot soldier, and they don't have any ego, and they don't moan about it, oh, but you know, I've studied for 15 years at university and I shouldn't be sweeping up today, or, you know, that's not my role, I'm the CEO. CEOs don't do this kind of stuff, right? So it's a wee bit of a background of where my thinking came from this morning, where it stemmed from. But as we were hiking, 6 of us together, right? Now, Alpha Male Ross took the lead for pretty much most of it. For at least the first 10 mile anyway, I was off charging ahead as I do. But when things started to get a little bit tough, I used methodology of one of my friends, where I became a bird in the tree and I was watching myself from above. And as I was watching myself from above, I was not only watching myself from above, I was actually watching another half a dozen bodies. Now, from Lanark to Glasgow, as I'm following that mission in my mindsight eye, my eagle eye view, which I've reflected on over Saturday night and through Sunday, is that each of us assume different positions throughout the day. So, in some respect, I would be walking ahead and I would be giving encouragement to others, and then another would take a position and assume as where. And it was actually, for me, the first person that came to me and gave support and took lead was Lewis Cleland. He's 25-year-old. I'm almost double his age. There is absolutely nothing that I'm any better at or any worse than him at. We just have differences. And he came up, and unknowing to him, without me sharing, that was the point that I broke, that was the point that I started struggling. And he came up and he started sharing some insights. It then allowed me to open up slowly to him, and that was it. And then he shared more insights, and that was great, etc, etc. And so the day went. Right, now why am I talking about this? Right? Because I think we are all leaders. And I look round about me in the world, and I look round about at depression and aggression in places where people are desperately unhappy. And I'm wondering what is lacking in these people's life. Well, it's a lack of a mission. Because now what's happened is we've now got dopamine, which is vitally important for our survival and procreation. We've now using dopamine as the false promise of reward. Right? Dopamine, the false promise of reward. Because our mission is to see how many likes we've had on Facebook. Our mission is somewhat different than it was from our ancestors, right? And we've lost a sense of mission in our lives, right? We are hunter-gatherers. Our mission was to go out and, like my grandfather, I look at people that were happy, okay? And my grandfather, to me, I don't know this to be true or not, I just know that to me, my grandfather was one of the happiest guys I know, right? But I was only ever looking at him from the outside in, not from the inside out. I never actually got to know. I mean, he never told me that his brother shot himself. I mean, yes, I now understand as an adult that he was carrying and wrestling with his own demons, but he was one of the happiest guys in his life, that I knew in my life, right? And he had a mission, right? He had a few missions. Now, my great-grandfather, all the way through, right, they were pretty much gamekeepers, shepherds and gamekeepers in my lineage, right? And my grandfather's mission was to kill crows. My grandfather's mission was to kill crows. Every time there was a load of crows up in the tree, into his wee shed, shotgun, poof, 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 shooting trees. That was his mission. Every day he had a mission. One of them was to kill crows. Happy as Larry. Loved killing crows, so he did, right? Next mission, trees that had fell down. Because see, when a tree had fell down, that meant he could legally cut it up and make it into other things, right? Happy as Larry, that was his mission. Oh, it was a windy night last night. Up, a few trees fell down over there. That means you go and get the tractor lynched up and tie a big chain round about them and pull them up through the thing. That was his mission, right? He had a mission. So, what's your mission? Have you not got a mission? Are you not feeling motivated? Is it Monday morning? You're sitting there with your head in your hands like, oh no, another day doing what I don't really want to be doing. Another day where I'm sitting underneath fluorescent lights. And, I'm probably not commuting right now because we're in lockdown. But still, nonetheless, doing something that you don't really want to be doing and finding that really difficult. So, let me go back to that microbes, that way that leaders, and are you a leader, are you a manager, right? Now, I don't know if Willie's listening here, but I was speaking to a manager. He's in a position of leadership last week. And he gave me an example around about a game of football, and everybody knows what a game of football is. And he says, you come to me, you work for me, you'll get a game of football, right? He said, you keep kicking balls in. He goes, you are being effective. You start hitting the crossbar a lot, right? Or missing, you'll then have to be sitting down and we'll be having a slightly different conversation. However, I'm going to go over that with him again because I didn't get the full meaning of what he said to me. But as leaders, many people think that as soon as they get a position of being in a CEO of a company or a director of a company or whatever, they think that they're in charge, right? They feel as if they're in charge. Now, that's not a leader's job. A leader's job is not to be in charge, but to take charge of those people who are underneath them. Now, have you got a leader or a manager that loves to micromanage? Now, the reason that they are a leader or a manager is because they were really, really good at their job, right? So therefore, they honed in their skills and became really, really good at it. So if you start off in a company or a junior or a student or whatever, your only job is to be really good at what it is that you have to do that day, right? And the more you can get good at that, the better you will become. And then you'll get up through the ranks and one day you might be a leader, a CEO. Now, if I'm working in any corporate environment, I'm like that, what's your main objective? And he's like, my customers are my main objective. I look at him and go, when was the last time you saw a customer? Realistically, when did you last speak to a customer? 10 years ago. Okay, so customers isn't really your main objective, is it? Right, so stop bullshitting. Right, stop the BS. Now, the people that are on your team that are dealing with the customers, they need to be your first priority, because if you can give them a happy place to work and a good place to be, you will get more productivity and a better result out of them than you were before. Now, where did I get all of this from? I got all of this from my hike, because there was 6 of us, all with different experiences, all from different backgrounds, all with different skill sets, all with different fitness levels, okay? But because we could, in that moment, look out for one another and be more effective leaders rather than taking charge, but helping others find their inner strength, as a team, we worked better and we completed our mission far more effectively, right? I tell you what was funny. I'm going to share this with you. A lot of you will know where it is, because this is a wee place in Scotland called Bothwell. Oh man. So we had to walk through this place called Bothwell, right? Bothwell's now the place to be. You know, it's like footballers' wives sort of place. It was hilarious. And I'm sitting at the side of the road and I'm eating my bagel with peanut butter, right? And every car was a Range Rover or a Range Rover Sport, right? They all had ridiculous private number plates, right? Now, I've got private registration numbers, but I've got private registration numbers because they're dateless, you know, and they've got meaning, right? They're not like, there was one that was like CO11, right? Trying to spell out somebody's name by completely bastardising the number plate with like loads of screws. It was as if somebody with an AK-47 had attacked the back number plate with screws, right? Like black screws, like grrr, or like your name's Collins, right? Anyway, black Range Rovers, black Toot Windies, right? I was sitting reflecting over it. Every dog that went past us, every dog that walked past us with their owner was a French Bulldog, right? Every dog was it was just like, so I was reflecting through my day, and it was like, is Bothwell now a place for people that have got absolutely no personal autonomy? It was just bizarre, because Bothwell was always a really nice wee spot, you know, when I was growing up. And I guess there was wee pockets of Bothwell that had new money in it, you know, but like now it's like new money with no taste, and it's like this cosmetic surgery haven. It's like every person, and I'm not going to say what one of the younger boys said. All right, I'm going to say what one of the younger boys said. He said, somebody should actually come down here and rename Bothwell to like MILF Cougarville. And it was like every woman that got out the Range Rover was dressed up like each person that we saw jumping out to go into the organic shop had Louis Vuitton handbags, jumped out with a wee dog, you know, their wee dog, and the French Bulldog in the back. And I found that quite hilarious, actually. Wow, that would be the last place on this planet that I would want to live. Where do you stay? Bothwell, right? God, it's like, wow. Anyway, off tangent there. So, how can we live more like microbes? How today, on Monday, can we live more like microbes and look at our leadership roles differently? Our job as leaders is, and we're all leaders and we all can have a mission, our job as a leader is not to be in charge. Our job as leaders is to help those to take charge. It's to ignite a sense of leadership in everyone that's around about us, rather than wanting the credit. Now, whatever your position in whatever organisation you're in, and maybe it's not the organisation for you when you start to look at this, is your leader the one that wants to take credit for everything? Is your managing director the one that'll listen to your idea? Oh, come on in and have a chat. And is your company the one that says, you know, Ross, you've been late a few times this month and you've not seen your target clients. So if that doesn't happen, there might not be a position here for you with this company. Right? Is that how your manager would speak to you? Or does your manager pull you in and say, Ross, I noticed you've been late a few times this week, and I noticed that you're not seeing as many clients as you have in the last months behind us. Is everything all right? Are you okay? What's going on? And then that manager's got the capacity to sit quiet, shut his trap, or her trap, and not put any of their opinions into it and just leave a space that's open for you to turn around and go, well, actually, my mum's really no well now. And, or I've just found out my wife's having an affair or my husband's having an affair and I'm really struggling with that right now, although I've not brought it up with him. Okay, you don't need to say any more. How can we support you? Right? Is that the level of management that you've got above you in that structure? If it is, that's a great structure. If it's not, then maybe you need to look for another structure which is going to support you better. So how do we find ourselves in a, look round about you, look at a simple level in this, right? Look at this simplistically. Friends, people round about you, colleagues or whatever. And I know we're using Facebook now. Facebook's a huge platform, right? And it's kind of found its way into our lives. So is there somebody that you know that continually keeps reposting your posts, but doesn't say, wow, was really turned on by this because my buddy Dr. Marawis put this up, or my friend Lynn put this up, and wow, Lynn's just so insightful, etc., etc. No. They don't want to share that with you. But they're the type of people, when you go to organisation meetings with them, that they're the ones that are turning around and promoting, let's do more of a collaborative working programme here, and let's do a lot more like team building exercises, and what else we have to do is we have to do like a lot more sharing, and we want like a lot of like working together partnerships across the board. And it's like, what? You've not got a clue, mate. You really don't have a clue. You wouldn't tell me where a bird's nest was, right? So I don't know if you in your organisations you are using these new jazzy terms, right? But in actual fact, there are very few people that are willing to, because of their construct around about being a leader, right, is that they want to turn around and take all the credit for everything, right? And I guess that with lockdown, and because everything's went really, really quiet, and I've got a lot less things to analyse, because I think my mission in life is to think. Yeah, it is, and I'm not going to say that as a negative, because what I love is helping people look at their metacognition, and I absolutely love working with people and getting them to think differently, or think rather than remember, because one of the places that are debilitating is because people aren't thinking, they're remembering, and there's a huge difference between thinking and remembering. So one of the things about lockdown is that for me, because everything else is turned down, and driving, I filled my car up with fuel, and it's like still got like half a tank of fuel in it. It's like I've not been anywhere. So it gives me a lot more time to actually hone in on these kind of things. And it's very, very apparent, the people that want to think that they're this utopian leader, and they're far from it, they're a million miles away from it. They're actually either full of LSD, right, and tripping profusely out their heads and riding a unicorn, that they actually believe that they're an effective leader. And they're not. They're very selfish. They're very greedy people. And they don't actually want to share any of the profit with anyone else. So, Willie's come in. I was once asked as a leader, what's your most important asset? My answer was, and I guess that's your team. Yes. And so, today's ramblings, the insights, I guess, that I really wanted to share was how painful my legs were this morning. And I'm now walking. I don't know if I'm going to be slower or faster than what I'm meant to be by the time I get here today or not, because I've not got a watch on. And I've not got my reading glasses, so I can't see. I was once asked as a manager, what's your best asset? My answer was my team. Absolutely, Willie. And we're all a team. Everybody here's a team. And I've went off in one, right, and rambled and lost the complete point. But my insights for the weekend were using a strategy to beam out of myself and be a bird and watch myself walking for the 33 miles into Glasgow. What I noticed, that people's positions within our group, the group of 6 changed. Sometimes somebody was at the back. Sometimes somebody at the back was at the front. Sometimes you were talking to Mr. A. Sometimes you were talking to Mr. B. Each person was not any better or not any worse. Okay? Those that looked as if they were doing well, when you spoke to them and you got honest with them, they were just holding it together as well. And one of the most phenomenal things that was said to me was, it's amazing how doing something like this just completely breaks you down until there's nothing left inside you. And there isn't. There is absolutely nothing left inside you. It's the most phenomenal, psychologically difficult thing to do. And that's why I love hiking. That's my thing. Hiking and walking is definitely my thing. It's not cardio or exercise or anything like that. But the point that I learned from that weekend was, like microbes, the most primordial, the most primitive of structures, right? And people are wanting to tell you about Joe Dispenza and all these magical gurus and Tony Robbins and all the rest of it. Go and research microbes. Go and research what you actually are, right? You've got a kilo of microbes in your gut. Gut's now a trendy thing to say, and folk are turning around and going, yeah, it's your second brain. I don't think your gut's your second brain at all, but let them bang on with that, right? What do I know? As Big Archie Parson used to say to me, Ross, you don't know shite for the Clyde. So I've installed that programme into my brain, and I don't actually know. I don't think that your gut's your second brain. Far from it. Because from the perspective of which they're currently looking at it scientifically, they would have to say it was your second brain. But then that would be assuming that the brain in your head was your first brain. Don't agree with that, but let them have that at the moment, because I also don't have the answer. But we've got a kilo of microbes inside our gut. Those microbes and the microbes that are in our soil have no hierarchy. There is no ego. Whatever the job, whatever the task that's at hand, it comes towards them. Microbe A may be the general, microbe B may be the sergeant, microbe C may be the foot soldier. Another task comes towards them. The foot soldier may take up the position of the general or the sergeant, etc., etc. That's how these microbes function. So whatever it is that we put into our body when it hits our gut, different microbes will take up different jobs, different tasks in order to deal with the situation that's coming towards it. So as we were walking and I was beamed out and I was like a bird and I was looking down at the 6 of us, throughout that 33-mile hike at the weekend, each of us took on a different role. There was no ego. There was no superiority stroke inferiority complex going on between us. We had synergy that worked and worked very well and worked very effectively. Now, is your team working effectively? Is your microbes that are around you working effectively? And if not, it's not time to go in there and nuke it and blow it up. It may just be time to start to think about it. Think about what it is that needs to change. And is it you that needs to change? Is it somebody else? Well, you know, we always want somebody else. We always want the outer to change. Even if it's always pull it back to yourself. What is it about me that has to change? What is it that has to change in order to make this better? Right? How can I be more effective in this moment? How can I learn from that primitive technology called microbes that's all around us? It's in our soil, it's in our gut, it's everywhere round about you. So, I hope you have a fantastic Monday, have a great week ahead. I'm really excited about my week. I've got loads of great meetings with great people and really lucky. The only day I don't think I've got anything on is Friday. I'm full on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And super excited about the week ahead. I'm actually buzzing for it, cannot wait. I'm actually excited about getting up the road in 9, and every morning's a race for me. I walk around here, I leave the house at 6, I walk around here, it's about 8 mile. I go for a swim in the Clyde, and I've got to be up the road, showered and ready and feeling fresh, and I have a shirt on and turning that laptop on for 9 o'clock in the morning, or I feel as if I've failed. So I'm charging against the clock. I wish you all a fantastic Monday. Have a great day, a brilliant week ahead. Thank you, each of you, for the support, and we're all in this together. And as Willie Grant just said to me, what makes us a great manager is our team. And we have a team round about us, and that team is called our community, right? Now, like microbes, like Clark Burrow said on his vlog around getting in the zone, beam up, be the bird in the tree and look down at your team. Yes, Does that person want to be the arrowhead? Does he want to be the one or she want to be the one that's leading things through and not collaborating? Talking about collaboration but knows nothing about the actual meaning of it. If that's the case, maybe that's your job to sort of team up into it and say, buddy, I don't think you're collaborating too well. And for that, I'm out. Have a great day. Wish you blessings and success. Be safe. All the best.